Hello everybody, Rockstar TK here, and welcome back to Star Wars Clone Wars. This time we're going to do multiplayer, and I don't have anybody with me to play with, due to the fact that I'm actually recording this during the pandemic, the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, so I'm kind of doing this so-called, quarantine style, if you will. I don't know what the most appropriate term will be, but I am actually doing this during the pandemic, so I'm doing this alone. So, yes, as you heard me correctly, I'm just going to be doing this as me versus myself. So here's how this works. So you're going to be playing as both teams,
Blue outpost acquired.
But then basically what you're going to do is you're going to, choose whichever color you want to win. In this case, I'm going to choose blue because blue is my favorite color. Just personally, that's me. And what you want to do is, what you're supposed to do is, because we're on Conquest, okay, I'm going to do about a couple of these videos here, at least, maybe several of these. And what you got to do is you're going to go inside of an outpost building and stay in there until the description says either production complete or at least building unit number 1 or 2, I think. So I'm going to build my outposts here. So,
Outpost acquired.
Back in here. There are a couple rules to this, or several rules, at least that I'm thinking of about at the top of my head. Rule number 1: you have to make sure that you have all the appropriate outposts constructed for both teams. And because whichever team you want to lose, that one you have to make sure that they start off with having more outposts and larger territory than yours. Okay, and then once you have all the appropriate but even for them, they're not allowed to go into your territory and just build an outpost there at all. Even though it has to be any territory that is not at your base. Okay. Not at least not at the base that you want to win. Okay. In this case, because I want blue to win, I'm make sure the blue territory is gonna start with just having wherever the blue base is. Okay, that's the rule. And yes, I have to conquer my way just to get to the red base. That is. So yes, because it's a me versus nobody, because the only other person who's with me is myself. So that's why I'm controlling the red team character as well too. So I'm gonna be moving them around to make sure that I'm gonna set this up for them just to make sure that they have their territory set up, if you will. Now, another thing about this. Okay, so you could even attack the blue base too if you wanted to use up all your ammo. Once you have all your outposts constructed completely, then you can go on over to the blue territory, try to attack them. And you want to make sure that the defense is so robust and so good that way you know that it will. That way you know you have a very good defense system over at your own base. Now for me, I'm over on the blue side, so I'm going to go ahead and try to take out an outpost over here because it looks like my base is already being attacked over here. So now there are times where you're going to have to do a self-destructive style, okay? Because there may be that's because there's probably you may have next to no chance to make it out alive. Because now fortunately I managed to destroy one red outpost. So I can conquer one. There's another rule to this too, that when it comes to the enemy object or the enemy team that you want to lose. For that one, there's a rule. You have to put that player and store it in one of the outposts. So essentially, that way, one outpost will not be destroyable completely. Damage all you want, but you cannot destroy them. So that. So yeah, so you see, just because it's you versus yourself does not mean it's going to be a very, very easy mission. Okay? It's still going to be much harder than you think. Believe it or not. Okay, now I have one more turret to take out, or maybe two more. Okay. Now, some of my outposts have been damaged, so if there's any outposts that are damaged on your territory, make sure you fix those back up, okay? And I have one more that's also been damaged pretty severely, so I'm going to take some time to rebuild it. I kind of want to talk about Geonosis a little bit. Now this, because it's a rocky planet and you can see the color of all the terrains are all red, it just seems like Mars to me. You know what I mean? It just seems like Mars. I know some of you might try to argue maybe it's a little more like Saturn, but Saturn is a completely gaseous planet, so there really isn't any like solid surface to necessarily speak of.
Red outpost destroyed. Blue outpost acquired.
So fortunately, I just conquered another outpost, so I could build another one, and I think I might have to fix the other one over there too. I'll go take a look and check. Again, when it comes to conquering an outpost and setting up a new one of your own, the same rule applies to when you first start off the battle. Okay. I guess I'm also doing this tutorial in the way of the tutorial style way, if you will, also because I'm incorporating that since I'm at least trying to teach the concept of conquest and multiplayer of Clone Wars, if you will. Now, don't worry. This is not the only kind of, not the only video of this kind you will see, because I'm going to go to other conquest maps as well too in this game. So stay tuned for that. That's it. Self-destruct style. Oh, okay. So remember, one red outpost will not be destroyable because there's at least not completely destroyable because there's, because the enemy unit, the main enemy unit that I have is actually in that outpost. So that's again per the rules. Okay? So because if it was not stored in an outpost, it would get a little bit too easy that way. So it may not sound all that challenging at first, but when you get to other maps later on, it's going to get pretty interesting, because then you're going to say, well, nobody's even controlling that enemy unit right now. Why are you having such a hard time conquering it? Oh, yeah, because it is stored inside of an outpost. That's why. So yeah, as long as you stay within your own outpost of your color. Oh, wait, I think red base now came up, but whenever you stay inside of an outpost of your own color,
red base under attack.
The outpost is never destroyed, even if you lose all your turrets and both of your units.
Red base under attack.
And that's because it will still remain there as your color outpost is still being acquired. Okay? So
red base under attack.
So that's exactly how the concept of outposts actually work in Conquest here.
Red base under attack. Red base under attack.
Now I'm just hiding inside my outpost, because this is going to get pretty intense, pretty quick,
Red base under attack.
So basically, as long as you stay within your outpost, a turret or a unit will always be built.
Red base.
So it's basically a 1v1, if you will. But you know, I think we're pretty close to the winning this, I think.
Red base structural integrity failing. Red base under attack.
So all I have to do is just sit there and I'll let these outpost turrets hit the base for me, the red base for me, and then I think they'll destroy the blow up the red base for me.
Red base under attack.
So that's really the objective of the conquest, is that you have to actually conquer and blow up the enemy's base. Oh, and we just did that. We just did it. Alright, so again, as I said, the more of these such videos like this is to come in the future, and I'll see you in a future such video in another map.